how obviously racist do we have to be? Or somebody says, wait, now, that's not right. I think it's not right. But is there any line in the sand? Just tell me this.
It's a what?
Any line in the sand when Trump asks you and your cohorts to do something, and it's one step too far. Is there one for you?
I think a violation of the Constitution.
Oh, that's been done.
How scary is that? The millions of Americans that support the president we have today don't support them because of reason, don't support him because of fact, don't support him because of logic. They don't support him because of anything in alignment with reality. They support him out of hate and disdain for you, if you are a black person, right? And once again, the fact that we have had 20 people come up here and vocalize their explicit hatred for black people, instead of giving one argument for why they support Trump. One reason, talking about the economy, talking about his policy, immigration, foreign affairs. No, it's just the N-word. So if you're a black person, if you're a brown person, if you're BIPOC, MAGA hates you.
Okay, just watch this. 5,000 Trump supporters ran to hide from the storm and ended up sheltering inside the African American History Museum. Think about that for a second. The same MAGA movement soaked in Christian nationalism, the same crowd that cheers on Patriot Front racists marching around D.C., the same people who shit on Black American history and push more institutional racism, they mock black communities every day. They deny racism even exists. Then the second their asses are in danger from the rain, where do they run? Straight to the African American Museum for shelter. It's pure hypocrisy. It's so not reciprocal. They spread so much hate toward Black Americans and then huddle under the actual banner of their history museum like it's nothing. This moment feels incredibly symbolic. These MAGA supporters expose their own contradictions in the most embarrassing way possible. What a perfect picture of the movement Donald Trump built.
You ever notice the universe has an incredible sense of humor? Because out of churches, hotels, Walmarts, and countless other places to hide, the storm somehow herded thousands of MAGA supporters into the one place they spent years pretending wasn't important. You can't make this shit up. For years, they were yelling, America's racial history is overblown. Ancient history, victimhood, a chapter everyone should just stop talking about. Then one thunderstorm shows up, and suddenly history isn't something to erase. It's something to stand under. Funny how fast principles dissolve once your socks get wet. It's almost like outrage has a weather forecast. Sunny? Culture war. Heavy rain? Human being. Today we're talking about racism in America. Not the textbook kind, the kind that shows up in the group chat, the comment section, the rally, then disappears the moment it's inconvenient. Because America keeps saying it's moved on. Then reality opens the sky, and suddenly the thing everyone declared dead is the only thing keeping them dry. Welcome back, folks. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're one of the OGs, one of the channel veterans, you already know where this one's headed. Around here, we don't need to shout. We don't need to manufacture outrage. We simply press play and let people reveal themselves. As always, we let the clips do the talking. Let's roll.
There is absolutely nothing that MAGA folks won't blame on people of color. Not because folks of color are actually to blame for any of those things, but because it's all MAGA knows. If you're out of work, must be because an immigrant of color or a black person took your job. If your taxes are too high, it must be because of welfare payments going to those people. Never mind the contradiction of saying that they take all the jobs, but also take none of the jobs because they're too busy relying on welfare rather than working. It can't be both, guys. You got to pick a lane, right? Kid didn't get into the college you wanted? Well, must be because a person of color got preferential treatment and stole their slot, even though the Supreme Court has essentially ended race-based affirmative action. You can't afford a home? Well, it must be because immigrants are taking all the homes and driving up the cost. Forget for a minute that they're also the ones building most of the homes, thereby driving down the cost. But, whatever. Scared of crime? Well, it must be because black and brown folks and migrants are making the cities unsafe. Forget for a minute that crime has actually dropped, even as immigration has gone up, and immigrants have lower crime rates than American citizens, but, whatever. When the pandemic hit, oh yeah, that was the fault of Asians, people of color, and their open air markets. When a door flew off a plane a couple years ago, Elon blamed it on a DEI program for pilots. And when a barge brought down a bridge in Baltimore, the right blamed it on the DEI mayor, which is just their new word for the N-word. To MAGA, white folks are never to blame for anything. Black and brown folks are to blame for everything. Why? Because MAGA is a racist cult. If your answer for every problem in America is people of color, you're a racist by definition. If your answer is Jews, you're a Nazi. And in either case, you deserve to be crushed utterly and without pity or mercy.
There are a whole lot of people in the United States who now feel emboldened to openly express their racism because they know that someone at the top, the very top, is on their side.
So, well, because of what you were doing today, you can't just be flipping people off, making them feel uncomfortable.
Because a Mexican, stopped me.
Okay. I don't think that's what happened.
You know what? They need to go back to Mexico.
Okay, you can't be saying things like that.
Yeah, I can.
No,
yeah, I can. No, it's not racist.
So here's the thing, Tracy.
Tracy. Our president of the United States.
Tracy.
Our president of the United States, Trump.
Tracy.
No impact right here.
That's neither here nor there, okay?
Okay, so Trump says...
Trump has nothing to do with North
Trump's
World right now.
president.
I understand that, but he has nothing
You understand that, right?
Yes, but he has nothing to do with
Okay, you understand that,
North World.
right? Correct?
Correct.
You understand that.
And then she decides to talk to the other cop because she thinks that'll work out better for her, but it in fact does not. In fact, it's worse.
Targeting them because they're a
I
certain
didn't say
race.
they were a certain race.
Well, you said they were Mexican. They had to go back to Mexico.
Well,
You said that.
They do.
No, they don't. They're citizens here. They can stay here.
Are they citizens?
How would you know that?
How do you know that?
I can't assume that they're not citizens. If someone's here, I just assume they're citizens
maybe
until
you
I
need
have
to go
evidence.
down there and
How do I know
find
you're?
out.
How do I know you're a citizen?
Because my dad served in the United States Army.
That doesn't mean you're a citizen.
I'm a citizen.
But how do I know you are compared to them?
This cop so perfectly sums up this entire come here legally argument because MAGA and Trump have normalized racial profiling while pretending it's all about the law. But yet there is no way to tell if someone is legal or not by just simply looking at them. And that's why I loved so much when the cop asked her, how do we know you're legal? How do we know you're a citizen? Maybe you should go back to where your ancestors are from because we don't know if she's legal. None of us do. Because citizenship, visas, legal status, none of that is visible. And when people say, we only care about legal immigration, what they actually mean is we feel completely entitled to profile, question, and harass certain people based on how they look. And that, my friends, is the real Trump derangement syndrome. When people convince themselves that their hatred is patriotic because their dear leader told them so.
So this woman calls the cops on some Mexican guys, not because they did anything, because they existed in public near her. That was the crime, existing while brown in broad daylight without a permit. And then, and this is my favorite part, she doesn't just call the cops, she editorializes. She looks the officer dead in the eye and says, "You know Trump is president." Like that's evidence, like that's a legal citation, like she's building a case and just submitted Exhibit A, political vibes. "Sir, I'd like to report a robbery. You know Trump is president." "My coffee's cold. You know Trump is president." "My Wi-Fi's down. You know Trump is president." What does that even mean? What is the officer supposed to do with that? Arrest them for violating her mood? But see, that's not a threat. That's not even a sentence, really. That's a password. That's her saying, "I know the current administration and I speak fluent grievance. So you and I are on the same team here, right, officer?" She wasn't asking for help. She was checking if her racism paperwork was still valid. Because for her, Trump is president isn't a fact about the executive branch. It's a permission slip renewal, like a library card for bigotry, and she just wanted to make sure it hadn't expired. And the wild part? She said it out loud to a police officer being recorded. That's not a woman hiding her racism. That's a woman who thinks she's got a hall pass signed by the President of the United States. Used to be, people did this quietly, called it in, hung up, went back to gardening, pretended it never happened. Now she's narrating it like a nature documentary. And here we seeing Mexicans minding their own business and a threat to absolutely nothing but her Tuesday. Classy.
That is a very disturbing video. You got a white guy in the face of a black woman on purpose because he's trying to be intimidating and to scare her, to try to make her cry, to try to make her feel inferior. Racism and hate. To whoever you are, I'm talking directly to you. You are a piece of trash. Because the reality is you just assaulted that innocent woman. And you did it, why? Because she's black? You're a disgrace to the United States of America. Again, you're a piece of trash. Because I tell you what, he wants to pretend that he's a badass. The only reason he's doing that is because Donald Trump became president, and he knows that Donald Trump is like him. He's this white dude that wants to be above everybody else. He wants to make everyone feel inferior. Let me tell you what this Latino's saying. You need a freaking kick in the balls, number one. Number two is, you should be put in jail for assault. Number three, the entire world should put you on the internet and saying, you see this piece of trash? You see what he's doing? He's assaulting women. He's assaulting minorities. He doesn't like anyone who's not him. You're not a tough guy. You're just some piece of shit.
And here we have another self-proclaimed patriot proving that courage, apparently, means verbally abusing and challenging a black woman to a fight. Nothing says strength quite like picking a fight with a black woman. If this is what making America great again looks like, it's a pretty sad definition of greatness.
A Trump supporter just got caught on camera being racist to a Somalian couple in a Cinnabon in Wisconsin, and the video went so viral that she ended up getting fired. Just watch.
Visualizing your body makes you a better person.
Are you recording? I'm gonna record you, yes. Do you want me to throw water on you? I am racist.
So idiot, for
and
real.
You are an
idiot. No,
I am racist, and I'll say that to the whole entire world. Don't be disrespectful. You ruined your life, by the way.
Oh, you're talking about respect? You're talking about respect? You are fired from this place, man. You're not gonna be working here. Sakwa, look how you talking about ugliness?
But as I mentioned, that video went incredibly viral, getting millions of views on different platforms. So much so that Cinnabon responded saying, we've seen the disturbing video from the Cinnabon in Wisconsin, and we don't condone this behavior. The former employee was immediately terminated by the franchise owner. Their actions do not reflect our values or the welcoming experience every guest deserves. Fired. F-A-F-O. Everything she said, everything she did in that video was just so disgusting. And now she's out of a job, facing the consequences of her actions. But maybe she can get a job in the Trump administration. I'm sure they'll take her.
So here's a fun little math problem for you. A woman gets caught on camera hurling a racial slur at a black couple. Just straight up, unprompted, ugly. The company sees the video, fires her within the day. Normal consequence, right? Actions meet reality. Except here's the thing. In most of America, that's a career ender. But there's one place left where that resume actually helps. I'm just saying, if corporate America's done with you because you said the quiet part loud, there's still an opening somewhere. An administration that spent the last few years gutting diversity, where DEI became a four-letter word. Honestly, that's not a resume gap. That's relevant experience. And if she's lucky, a job in Trump's government.
I said, excuse me.
Go back, wherever you're from.
I said, excuse me. Don't be rude.
You're the one that's rude.
No, I said,
Yes, you
excuse
are.
me. I'm trying to buy
You're in
something.
America.
So?
You're in America.
So what?
That's none of your business. Stay out of it.
I don't need to stay out of it.
I said, excuse me.
Enough for everybody to hear. Stop being ignorant.
A nigger's calling me ignorant.
my goodness.
Mexico and all that stuff.
Oh my goodness. You are very rude.
No, you're the one that's rude.
I said excuse me because I'm trying to grab my medicine.
You told me, you know what you told me, and
Yes, I said if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
Just go on. Just go on.
Whatever.
Get out of here.
No, I'm not gonna get out of here. No, I'm not. Because this is my country. Yes, this is my country. Oh yes, it is. Oh yes, it is. I don't care.
We don't want you.
I don't care what you want or not.
We do want you here.
Leave me
That's
alone.
not true.
No.
How rude. How rude.
Give her the.
No, ma'am.
Leave me alone.
This is inappropriate.
Ridiculous.
Tell her.
No, ma'am.
Tell her.
It's inappropriate.
Sweet baby Jesus. Y'all, I was so disturbed when I saw this video. There was countless problems that I had with this video. From the fact that MAGA is so bold. All of the MAGA crew thinking that they're entitled to tell a person that they feel is not Caucasian, that they don't belong here. If y'all paid attention, not only did she insult what I am assuming is a lady of Mexican descent, and prevent her from getting her medication off that shelf, she proceeds to call that black woman up. Yo, don't you sometimes watch these things and be like, I wish a motherfucker would?
Why do you support Trump?
Because he's getting rid of all the illegal Mexicans.
Why do you specifically just want to get rid of people who are Mexican?
Because the Mexicans in Southern California are ruining this place.
No, they're
not. Yes, listen, you don't live here.
I do live in
You
Southern
live here?
California. I live in Los Angeles. Mexicans here in Los Angeles make this city and county a significantly better area to live in.
Dirty.
No, you're a dirty piece. The fact that you just consider people who are Mexican dirty is a disgusting racist trope perpetuated by bigoted pieces such as yourself that don't actually base any of their positions on facts but instead emotions. You're the same type of people that tell us not to get vaccinated. Watch. Do you think the COVID vaccine was safe and effective?
It was not effective.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? These are the people who don't believe in science. These are the people who don't believe in science. So their whole notion here of quote unquote dirty is simply them just being a bigoted racist people. And actually not a description of actual reality because they don't believe in science. They don't believe in facts. He's a tinfoil hat, bigoted, snowflake, triggered idiot.
I really genuinely believe that if you triple Trumped, then you are all about preserving the lack of culture in white America that has led us to where people go and Bible thump with their AR-15s. Like, that's the only thing that I see when you get all white people together in the United States. There's no culture at all. So they have to go borrow culture from people. Even the word woke, they've borrowed from black culture. I don't think you should be able to enjoy anything but Cracker Barrel. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel. Quit watching NBA basketball. Quit watching sports that are dominated by African Americans. Quit going to Mexican restaurants. You want white culture, you go fucking live in it. But do not participate in any of the shit that makes America cool. And what makes America cool is multiculturalism. And if you want to triple Trump, and you want to browbeat DEI, and you want to browbeat gay people, and you want to browbeat black people, as you've been doing for 400 years, and you want to browbeat this generation of immigrants that come over here and open up businesses earnestly, pay their taxes, you want to demonize them and call them rapists and felons and all this shit, when the felon is the teeny weeny mushroom cock piece of shit, Kankles McTaco tits at the top of the ticket. I have fucking had it from top to bottom. White people that triple Trump should be banned, boycotted from enjoying the best thing that America has to offer, which is multiculturalism. Get your fat asses out of the Mexican restaurant. Get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel, because nobody wants to see your fucking smug ass, teeny weeny, pink arm, big gut, around. Nobody wants to see that shit. No one.
All right, folks, you just have to see this because it is so insane. I came across this video last night, and when I saw it, I was disgusted. But it's also a perfect representation of our politics, specifically the Republican Party, or I should say members of the Republican Party. It is crazy. It's happened recently, just in the past week. And just to give you a little synopsis before we dive into the video and watch it for ourselves, a MAGA woman at a Pizza Hut in Gladstone, Missouri, tried to call ICE on a couple waiting for their food, telling them it's English only in the United States. So you're already kind of getting an idea of who we're dealing with here. She declared English is the capital of America, not dealing with the sharpest tool in the shed, and ordered them to, quote, self-deport back to Puerto Rico. Of course, if you're born in Puerto Rico, you're an American citizen. I also don't think she knows that. Quote, I'm not racist, she said. I'm standing up for America.
You ever notice some people hear a foreign language like it's an air raid siren? A woman is sitting in line waiting for her pizza and somehow convinces herself that the biggest threat in the room is two people speaking Spanish. Not inflation, not crime, not the 20-minute wait for her extra cheese. No, it's vowels. Then comes my favorite part. Speak English. Funny how the people always shouting, mind your own business, can never seem to mind theirs. Imagine being so fragile that someone else's conversation raises your blood pressure. Nobody was talking to her. Nobody asked for her opinion. She just heard a language she didn't understand and somehow decided this required federal intervention. ICE. Over a conversation. That's like calling the fire department because your neighbor ordered spicy food. She didn't hear Spanish. She heard a reminder that the world doesn't revolve around her. And apparently, that was the real emergency. Because here's the funny thing about insecurity. It doesn't get angry when people break the law. It gets angry when people remind you you're not the center of the universe.
This is a perfect representation of the hate, the bigotry that Donald Trump has inspired and normalized, where people feel okay saying this stuff in public and even getting caught on camera saying it. It is just so gross. So you kind of have an idea of what we're about to watch.
What is your problem? Right, America, English.
You guys.
I was born and raised here too, and I always speak with English.
I'm bilingual, so I speak Spanish and I speak English. What other language you speak?
English is the capital of America.
I don't care. I don't care.
Mexico.
No, Mexico. I'm from Cuba. I'm from Puerto Rico.
I go back to Puerto Rico.
Sí.
She feels comfortable showing her racist side, her hate, her bigotry. There's no longer a, oh, you know, I feel this way and I understand that this is not socially acceptable, because of course it's not. It's disgusting. There's no more hiding it. They feel comfortable because Donald Trump is in office and because the Republicans are in office.
I have no doubt in my mind that the map's gonna pass. If y'all can give us less than 0 seats, you would do it. Y'all do this under the orders of somebody that said the Civil Rights Act was harmful to white people, that it caused reverse racism. RFK said that black children are overfilled on antidepressants and that they need to be reparented on different forms, all of them. Pete Hegseth constantly brings Doug Wilson to the Pentagon to give a prayer service. Doug Wilson is the same pastor that said that slave owners were on strong spiritual ground. I don't have no belief in no morality on anybody that followed Donald Trump. If you wasn't with this map, you wouldn't be underneath this president. You wouldn't be in your party. You would stand up, you would stand against it, you would speak out about it. So as far as I'm concerned, if you here as one of these Trump Republicans, you already showed us who you are. You showed us what you want to do. And I believe the country as a whole is rebuking your party. Y'all are in a death spiral. That's why y'all have to redistrict. That's why y'all have to cheat. That's why Trump got to go to Texas and say he entitled to 5 more seats. It's because y'all know what y'all doing is abhorrent. But the beautiful thing is, the children that y'all have made and the people that's younger than y'all don't support none of this racism that y'all want. The MAGA party is the last breath of the Confederacy. And I'll be happy to see millennials and Gen Z bury y'all. There will be no more of your party. The midterms gonna come, y'all gonna get wiped out. Trump gonna get dragged out of the White House, and I'm gonna love every second of it.
The rest of us in America don't want you guys here. Ryan, move out of the community, you moocher. You don't have a job. You're living off the system. These Somali people don't have to pay for you all the time, do they? Why are you mooching off your Somali neighbors? You don't have a job. You don't work, you lazy bum. Why don't you work?
First of all, much respect to Cardinal Glass Industries for finding out that this dude is out here being racist and deciding he doesn't represent our company, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of his ass. And by all means, racist, listen, don't listen to me. Continue being racist in front of cameras. Like, don't allow me to stop you from standing 10 toes down on your racism. If you're out there calling people racial epithets, or you're out there criticizing people for the way they look or whatever, their lifestyle's different from yours, and someone pulls out a camera phone, by all means, stand on your morals. Be bold with your racism and your homophobia and your misogyny and your hate and bigotry. Be bold with it. We want to know who you are. Please, by all means, keep outing yourselves. Now, I haven't heard about an actual GoFundMe going up or a Give Send Go going up for this couple yet, but I'm sure it's coming, because I got on X today and there are a bunch of MAGAs out there who are like, yo, patriots, can we help this couple out? Can we get them a job? Is anybody out in the Minnesota area can hire this patriot? Like, it's so crazy how easy it is to become popular in the MAGA movement. All you gotta do to be popular in the MAGA movement is go publicly as a racist, be outed publicly as a racist, and then get a Give Send Go up out there and watch how fast they sprint to donate to that cause.
One woke teen versus 100 Trump supporters really shared in a recent episode an encounter where while he doesn't believe the GOP, including Donald Trump, can't stand black people.
All right, hey, I just want to be clear here. Republicans hate black people. MAGA hates black people, right? So if you're watching this and you're a black person, MAGA hates you. They hate you. They loathe you. They despise your existence. What's my evidence for this? We've been live for about an hour now. We haven't had one Trump supporter come up here and tell us why they support Trump. No, we haven't. We haven't. We've had maybe 20 people come up here and scream the N-word, though. Republicans are more willing to slur. Republicans are more willing to hate crime. Republicans are more willing to despise you for your existence, if you're a black person watching this, than they are willing to give one intellectual reason why Donald Trump is a good president. So for everybody watching, I mean, I'm talking about the 2.2 thousand people on YouTube and the 7.3 thousand people on TikTok. How scary is that? The millions of Americans that support the president we have today don't support them because of reason, don't support him because of fact, don't support him because of logic. They don't support him because of anything in alignment with reality. They support him out of hate and disdain for you, if you are a black person, right? And once again, the fact that we have had 20 people come up here and vocalize their explicit hatred for black people, instead of giving one argument for why they support Trump. One reason, talking about the economy, talking about his policy, immigration, foreign affairs. No, it's just the N-word. So if you're a black person, if you're a brown person, if you're BIPOC, MAGA hates you.
All we did was set up a table.
Forget Make America Great Again, too much reading between the lines, too much homework, just print the real message, save everybody the trivia night. New hat, red, same font, says, hey, I'm racist. Clean, simple, no subtext. Finally, some truth in advertising. Because let's be honest, that's the translation half these guys are going for anyway. Make America Great Again is just the trailer. This is the full movie. And think about the convenience. No more guessing games. No more, wait, is this guy being racist or just like a huge fan of freedom? You see the hat, you know exactly what you're working with. It's like a nutrition label, except instead of calories, it just says contains bigotry, and you can plan your day accordingly. Honestly, kind of respect the transparency.
Why is it that when people post videos that say MAGA is racist, MAGA are bigots, and then I comment and I say, please provide your research on that. I would love to see the research on this. Seriously, I would. I would love to see if there's real research on this. And I say, please provide statistics. And then they never answer me. It's interesting. Interesting.
Good news. Scientists actually studied this. Real universities, real surveys, thousands of people, and what they found was that the single biggest predictor of whether someone would support MAGA, like bigger than money, bigger than jobs, bigger than anything economic, was how they felt about keeping America white. Not conservative values, not taxes, not morals, just that. So a 2019 survey of white Americans found that white nationalism, wanting to keep the United States white demographically and culturally, was strongly related to the willingness to wear a MAGA hat. And that's not my opinion, that's a published academic study. And a separate research institute built what they called a structural racism index. It was basically a score for how comfortable someone is with racist ideas. And Republicans scored a 0.67 out of 1. And Democrats scored a 0.27. And that scale only goes to 1. So there's your research. That's your statistics. You're welcome. Now I'm going to add a little something that maybe no one's explained to you yet. And I really want you to hear this. You know why bars don't allow gang colors like biker jackets or hate symbols? Not because the owner's rude, but because the second that those symbols walk through the door, the people who aren't about that life, they get uncomfortable and they leave. And then who stays? Everyone who's perfectly fine with it. So the bar doesn't become a hate bar just because hateful people showed up. It becomes one because everyone else left. Right? So rallies, they work exactly the same way. And this isn't just like the January 6th rally. You know, at a Trump boat parade in Florida, attendees waved swastika flags and shouted, "Hail Trump," and "Make America White Again." And at the Capitol on January 6th, people walked those halls in Camp Auschwitz hoodies. You know, the death camp where over 1 million Jewish people were unalived. Yeah, a professor who has spent his entire career studying this movement was horrified. He was shocked. And he watches this for a living. He couldn't believe that was happening in our capital. But rally after rally, Yahtzee flags, Confederate flags, and people stayed. If there's even one Yahtzee flag, you are at a Yahtzee rally. And Keeks, I'm kind of implying that you might be one. Not because you're marching in robes, not because you're wearing a pointy white hat, but because you keep asking for research that you won't read. You go to rallies and you won't leave. Next to flags you won't condemn. And at some point, I didn't know stops being an excuse and just starts being a choice.
And we are standing up for what we think is right now.
Barbara,
I mean it.
You're playing into their hands. Let me speak to them, okay?
In the name of God, how much more are we supposed to take?
Take from what?
From you people.
I mean you people. You sound like I'm a dog or something.
As we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
We want freedom! We want freedom! We want freedom!